What is going on, all of you Call of Duty players? This is your boy Too Smooth here, bringing you some gameplay in free-for-all? Question mark. I know it's really random. The only reason why I'm playing it was because I like a few people who I watched on YouTube, and I was checking out their channels, and I did notice that they were trying to go for an MOAB in free-for-all, and I was like, ooh. It never really crossed my mind, and I thought it would be really interesting to try to do just because, free-for-all is obviously a challenge to get an MOAB in. The reason being is because you don't have any teammates, which is completely different from all the other game types in Call of Duty. And, just that fact makes it a lot more hard to get an MOAB because, you don't have anybody to get your back, you can't really tell where anybody is, and, you have 7 enemies. And they're all spawning randomly. Like, people can spawn in front of you, behind you, 10 feet in front of you, 20 feet in front of you, 30 feet in front of you. And it's really hard to get used to if you're not really a big free-for-all player. But anyways, I did enjoy it, and I obviously got the MOAB because I wouldn't be posting this video if I didn't. But anyways, getting into the class that I'm using, I am going to be taking out the FAD suppressed, and it's kind of weird because I never really use this gun that often, but the first time I picked it up, I loved it. I've been going ham with it for the couple of days that I've been using it. Pretty sure I got Blue Tiger on right now, yeah. And it's great. I think it's a great gun. It's a great assault rifle just because it's a little bit different from the rest because it has such a fast fire rate, and I think that's one thing that makes it that much better than some of the assault rifles. But anyways, what I really wanted to get into in this video was I wanted to give you guys 3 tips that I go by in free-for-all. And these 3 tips, if you follow these 3 tips, I guarantee you will get a MOAB in free-for-all, obviously depending on your skill level, sooner or later. But tip 1. Use a suppressor. Obviously, the suppressor is good for every game type, but especially free-for-all. There are kids spawning in front of you, in back of you, 10 feet, 20 feet. You need a suppressor. That is key. If you don't have a suppressor, you are going to have hordes of enemies just rushing to the red dot because people look at those red dots like a treat. They will not stop. Alright, and step 2. Now, this is obviously an extremely important step as well, and that's to use a motion sensor. It's weird in free-for-all as the recent weeks that I've been playing free-for-all and the more I got used to the game type, I've noticed that a lot of people don't use assassin just because obviously if you think about it, it kind of does make sense because in free-for-all you're always going to be in gun battles. You're going to get non-stop gun battles, and people want that quick draw advantage, so a lot of people disregard assassin and don't use it. So if you have a motion sensor, I am telling you 98% of the time you are going to be able to get a piece of the map, and it's beautiful because the way I get MOABs is I'll just I won't camp. I'm not going to call it camping, but personally I think this is the only way you can actually get an MOAB in free-for-all, and that's if you just take a piece of the map out and you have to put a motion sensor there behind you and then check the side and then keep on checking back on each side, because if you don't take a piece of the map out and you keep on trying to run around and rush real hard, you might get close if you have extremely good gun skill, but it's really very rarely going to happen if you always rush around the map in free-for-all because it's really hard to do. So definitely use a motion sensor because that's a huge plus, and it's really it's a really good tactic. Now, the third and final tip that I will be sharing with you guys, which is, in my opinion, one of the most important steps out of all 3 of these, are to learn the spawns. If you are a new free-for-all player and you do not know the spawns, or at least have a little idea of how the spawns work, I'm not telling you to memorize every one and get a book out, but if you have to have somewhat of an education of where these spawns are, because if you do not know where these spawns are, you will just get trampled. You have to know where people are going to be for the most part. And basically that's all I've got for you guys. I really hope you guys enjoy the video, and I really hope you guys follow these 3 steps, and I hope you guys do get MOABs in the future. So peace out from your boy Too Smooth.